all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this far-out episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review GoBots, Issue 5. You know what, guys? Just send your complaints to Daryl at transmissionspodcast.com. Marvel's got a new Death's Head series coming out, and you might just recognize some of the names on art duty. And also, is IDW for sale? I'm asking for a friend. Today is Friday, April 5th, 2019, and this is episode 123 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's going back to before 1984. I'm your host, Charles, a.k.a. Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, a.k.a. Yakko.
Great Scott.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
She's your mother, Marty.
Let's talk Transformers.
All right, that's the next crossover, Back to the Future Transformers. So.
Your protoforms, Marty.
All right, as always, we start off by thanking our Donatrons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you for helping us keep the show going. You guys are awesome. No new ones this week, but we always thank the ones we have. We also want to send a special shout out to Kevin Horn, one of our Donatrons, who won the March Toy Hacks $10 giveaway contest this month, or last month, I should say. So congratulations, Kevin. We'll be getting that $10 gift code to you very soon.
After we get in contact with you and get all your pertinent information.
Yes. Also, just a reminder, if you want to help us out another way, but you don't want to give us a long-term commitment, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop and buy some of our fine merchandise, or you can buy any merchandise from TeePublic and give us a little bit of a kickback. We really appreciate it. That's all the shilling. Let's get into this week's comics news. All right, first off, we have some art from Kazama and John McCree. So Kazama is the artist on the new Death's Head series from Marvel that's coming in July. So we have a little bit of her artwork and some of the cover art from John McCree. I'm looking forward to this. Really a big fan of Kazama's art. Her work on the Optimus Prime series was really well done. So I'm looking forward to what she can do with Death's Head. And this little taste gives us confidence, or gives me confidence that it's going to be good. Next, I'm going to throw this over to Jeremy because he's our financial analyst person. But we've got some news about the future of the IDW Media Company. So, Jeremy, what's going on there?
All right. This is going to be very, very fun. Or boring. I don't know. Depends on your perspective. But, all right. So, IDW Media Holdings is basically the overarching company that owns IDW Publishing, IDW Entertainment, all the various companies. It's all owned by this one holding company called IDW Media Holdings. They have retained JP Morgan to review, all of their financials and everything to determine whether they should sell the company or not. This is not a thing saying that they definitely are going to do it, but it's not really good news. Essentially what happened was the largest shareholder kind of forced them to do this. But we got some very interesting information coming out of this, like some documents that had to be released. Bleeding Cool, actually, Jude Terra at Bleeding Cool put this article that has like lots of breaking down some of this information, particularly with IDW Publishing. Year over year, like November 2017 through January 2018 compared to November 2018 through January 2019, their traditional retail, or not traditional, their direct market dependence has jumped like 5 percentage points, and like their other like licensing went way down, or other publishing stuff went way down. They're just very dependent on the comic book store as opposed to being more diversified. I'm not sure how that compares to other comic book companies, but like DC's owned by Warner Brothers, Marvel's owned by Disney. They don't really have to worry so much. They're basically just IP generators for their respective owners. One thing that I found in this document, they had to release this 55-page document that is incredibly boring. I didn't read the whole thing, but one thing that I noticed in here was the publishing side of the house, as we have speculated, is actually self-sufficient from a financial position. We've been speculating for a while now that it's the entertainment side of things, the TV production, that they've been wanting to self-produce these shows, that is sucking down the cost or all the cash flow of the company. And in this document, they actually say one of their risks is that they might not have enough capital to finance or co-finance future television shows if they're not able to bring in more money. And because of this, they have also, like in this document, it is because they are releasing a whole bunch more stock, hoping to get more money into the company. I'm kind of worried that the publishing side is going to suffer because of all of the unknowns on the entertainment side. I'm hoping not. Marvel is publishing some stuff through IDW now on the like the younger audience titles, and they've done Disney stuff for a while. They obviously have tons of licensed properties. I really hope that what's determined is just spin out the entertainment side, which I don't know if they will, but it's very... If you're interested in the business side of comics, there's a lot of really interesting information here you can dig into. So we'll have all the links here. Storm clouds ahead for IDW, but we'll have to see what comes of it.
All right, yeah. I mean, one thing that in particular, as I look through these documents, I mean, the pie chart that shows the publishing revenue, you can see that like the digital comics is less than 10%, while the direct market is about 40%.
Yeah.
I think this is, digital is not going to save you at this point.
It's not, but I think this is the first digital numbers we've ever had.
Yeah, it allows us to put things in context. Like we have been looking through those Comic-Con numbers and using those as kind of a proxy for their entire sales figures. And those direct market sales, I mean, I think it's a pretty good. I mean, the digital comics are only adding on average maybe 25% on top of the physical comic sales. Right. So it's not a bad estimate just looking at the physical numbers. So that's just an interesting data point. But yeah, IDW, maybe spin off the publishing guys. Maybe do we need another Patreon tier for us to acquire the publishing company?
They should just start a Kickstarter.
All right. Well, continuing on, we do have some good news on the consumer side for fans of IDW Transformers, because Humble Bundle has put up another Transformers Comics Humble Bundle. This is partnering, of course, with IDW. This is nearly everything. So I don't know why they leave some stuff out, but they invariably always do. But if you pay up to $15, you get everything in this bundle, and it's like starting with Infiltration all the way up to Unicron number 6. Plus, you get the Transformers 2019 number 1 as a sneak peek. So you've got pretty much everything. The spotlights are missing, but everything else, almost everything else, is there. But yeah, just the spotlights are not there, which
I think Hearts of Steel might.
Huh?
I think Hearts of Steel might also be missing.
Yeah, Hearts of Steel is not there too. Yeah, I guess on the AllSpark they did they had a good. Maybe I'll put that in the show notes too. There's a link. There's a list on the AllSpark that shows what's in this bundle and what is not there, and then links to Comixology if you wanted to get those. But
yeah, but basically everything that you would want to read to get the entire kind of through line of the IDW Transformers stuff is here.
Yep.
Including Transformers Historia, if you just want to just read one thing.
Yeah. So read that last. Don't read that first, because that's major spoilers for all the twists and turns of the IDW storyline. But I mean, even Transformers versus Visionaries. Actually, frankly, I think you could have left that one out, but they put that in there.
Yeah, leave it out and Cups Alive.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I mean, they've done Transformers bundles in the past, but this is pretty comprehensive. This is a pretty big one. So
I'm tempted to do it, even though I have a lot of this stuff, just to make sure I get everything digitally in the same format.
Yeah, I think I might do it. I think I am going to do it. So
yeah, it's got 9 days left of this recording.
Yeah, so by the time this show is out Friday, you should still have a couple days left. This ends April 8th, I guess. So this show goes up April 5th, so you've got 3 more days. So do it. Just do it. $15. It's not that much. $15 for like hundreds of comics. That's a pretty good deal.
Just do it.
DRM free too. So
exactly, yeah. Next up, we've got an interview with Eric Burnham, who is the writer on the Ghostbusters Transformers crossover, the Ghosts of Cybertron. So this is a cool little interview, and they talk about how blending the worlds of Ghostbusters and Transformers. Also pointing out it is the 35th anniversary for both franchises, so that's a nice little dovetail there. And the difficulty in creating this new character, Ectotron. And they also mention how Gozer will figure into the story. And we've already seen some of the art, the preview art with the robotic looking Gozer on Cybertron. So they talk a little bit about that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This series looks like it's going to be pretty fun, and the art looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last bit of news is a recap of the Transformers IDW panel at WonderCon. So this past weekend. We had John Barber, David Marriott, Megan Brown. EJ Sue was supposed to be there, but didn't make it to the panel for whatever reason. But they talked about all the upcoming stuff in Transformers comics. Of course, the major focus was the new ongoing and the Transformers Ghostbusters crossover. But we did get a bit of news because we're getting a G1 focused one-shot that is written by Simon Furman and drawn by Guido Guidi. And this is going to be Transformers 84, or is that what I think is?
Yeah.
Is it 80 Transformers 84 number 0, and this is going to be in July of this year. So
it's a one shot,
and this is apparently going to be set before the first issue of the Marvel G1 comics. So this is a prequel to the Marvel G1 comics. So I'm curious what they're going to do there. But we did see a little bit of art, and Guido Guidi, I think, has nailed that retro G1 style, the comic style. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I think everything else. I don't think there's anything else new from the panel. I guess.
Someone asked if we would ever see an evac from the Universal ride in the fiction, and Barber said no one has ever asked that before in those words. So I'd say no.
I'm going to go with no. I mean,
and David Marriott said that someone asked about, Lost Light, and he said that they wanted to leave it open for fans to continue to tell those stories on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're going to be getting anything from IDW on that side, but they're like, hey, fan fiction, do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, at the time when we reviewed the last issue, I said this was the comic that launches 1,000 fanfics. The way they ended it, so nice and open ended, which I think makes sense since James Roberts came from fanfic, so I'm sure he wants to encourage others to follow on. All right, well, that's all the comics news, so let's move on to our comic review.
All right. We are reviewing GoBots number 5, the final issue of the series. We have 3 covers here. Cover A is by Tom Scioli, and it has Leader 1 holding a fallen Psykill in his arms in what to me seems like an homage to Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7, which has Superman holding Supergirl in a similar pose. Cover B, we have the GoBot Apocalypse by Dash Shaw. It has Zod and Leader 1 stomping out humans. The command center is there. Does not seem like it's a very happy day for humans. And cover C has Leader 1 dashing forward with Turbo and Scooter looking on, and this is by Ryan Brown. And Charles, which of the 3 do you like the best?
I'm gonna go with the Tom Scioli cover A. I think that's it has nothing to do with what's going on inside the comic, but
no.
I don't.
None of these do, though.
Yeah,
The man likes his Uncanny X-Men 136 variants. Eh?
I have no idea what that is.
It's exactly the same pose that's you referenced.
Okay.
Every comic has made the same pose.
Okay.
All right, that's the cover I'm picking. I don't
Daryl,
care
how
about.
about
I don't care about the other comics that had that pose, DC or Marvel. Leave your DC Marvel feud out of this.
Never.
I'm sure there's a Walking Dead with a similar pose on the cover. Daryl, which one do you like?
I am going to go with the Ryan Brown cover. I think that one looks really well done for what it is, even though Scooter's got the goofiest fucking head on him. His eyeballs are all googly-eyed, but Leader 1 looks pretty badass. So yeah, the RI cover is my pick.
I will have to agree with you. I think that one, I mean, Scooter's face doesn't fit the rest of the image, I don't think, but on the whole, I really like this image. So it's a nice painted style.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get on to the book. This is Story Art and Letters by Tom Scioli. Editor is David Hedgecock. The story begins with Turbo riding Space C like a surfboard as the shuttle gets him to the fleeing command center. Inside the command center, Psykill is taunting the captured Scooter. And once he gets inside, Turbo is quickly spotted inside the fuel station, but he quickly dispatches the guard by covering him with fuel and setting him on fire. In the cafeteria, Turbo's attacked by Loco, and the two have their final feud. It's a fairly quick one, as Turbo is able to toss Loco into the dematerializer. Outside of the enemy reprogramming center, Turbo spots Scooter inside the room, but the humans that are inside his chest don't see anyone. Adjusting himself, Turbo sees that the room is indeed empty. Looking into the past reprogramming sessions that Leader 1 has recorded, he finds that the session from when he first freed Scooter from the command center. However, in the video, he sees that Scooter is begging Leader 1 to make him forget, and Turbo's interruption is what caused Scooter's current mental state. Elsewhere, Psykill is ready to begin testing on the human and GoBot prisoners. However, it's cut short when Turbo bursts into the room. Psykill pleads for his life, but Turbo sees what he is planning with the prisoners. Psykill fights back and gets a blast off with his head laser, but Turbo is too quick and shoots him straight between both eyes. As he dies, Psykill relives his creation, being made into a motorcycle that's big enough for GoBots to ride. As Turbo frees Scooter, they then go to take control of the command center. He's initially stopped by Crasher, but they put their past behind them and make peace. Landing both Thruster and the command center, Major Domo, who is Leader 1's second in command, reveals that the disintegrator is really a time tunnel. Two of the humans decide to stay and teach the humans on Earth, while the other two go back with Spacey to try to prevent this GoBot revolution in the past. Most of the GoBots actually leave the planet, but they are soon attacked by tons of Vamp GoBots as they get back to the surface of Gobatron. They're saved by Road Ranger and his forgotten GoBots. Road Ranger is heading to Gobatropolis and invites them to join their group, then orders everyone to transform and roll out. Inside the command center, Spacey and his two humans go through the time tunnel and hope to make a difference. In Gobatropolis, Road Ranger is officially made the leader, and in his first act, he removes the shell that Gobatron has over Earth and sets Gobatron off into space, where they can find where they fit in the universe. Later, Bugbite asks Road Ranger what will become of Leader 1 and Psykill. Will they be regenerated? Road Ranger says that they will instead be made into a new GoBot that will hopefully have the best traits of them both, as he sees a familiar-looking jet being constructed. In the past, we see the humans try to convince their superiors of the coming threat, but will they succeed? I guess not. That is the issue. And I personally think this issue was a bit of a mess.
A bit of a mess.
Yeah. Trying to wrap up so much stuff, and nothing gets enough time here. I think we've said throughout the entire series that it seems like it was a longer series that was forced to be compressed. There is a good 12-issue story in these 5 issues, but it's just this issue in particular just jumps from thing to thing so quickly, and it was hard to follow at times, and I don't know. I mean, just you could tell he had lots of good ideas. Just the execution wasn't there for me. I mean, the time tunnel thing, that, I mean, could have seen that be a little bit earlier so we could have a little bit more of what happened in the past. I don't know. And then the Transformer references at the end was just, we didn't need that. Daryl, we'll start with you. What do you think?
So, yeah, I thought this issue was an absolute disaster. It was all over the place. Right off the bat, I was reading the issue and I actually chuckled to myself because the first page, you have, honestly, I forget the guy's name. The red car. What is his name? Turbo, right. So he's riding Spacey like a surfboard as he flies around, which is, sure, let's give that to him.
I'm sure it's stable.
Yeah. So he jumps and he lands on the platform.
You ever hear of magnetic clamps on his feet?
That's not what I'm getting to here though. But I'm giving it to him. He's riding Spacey like a surfboard. It's cool. I'm good with it. But then he lands, he grabs onto the ship as it's taking off, and there's 2 panels of them just waving bye to each other. Turbo flips the peace sign, peace, and Spacey takes time in a panel, transforms into robot mode to salute Turbo. What? This is page 1. All right. So then the scene from Zoolander where we have the gasoline fight inside the space station. That doesn't end well for Copter. It just gets messier and messier as it goes on. Turbo does not understand or cannot react in time as the train guy turns into the train and hits him. Like he can accelerate that fast and hit him.
But in the next thing, he's back in robot mode.
Yeah,
and that is just really messy.
It's a bit crazy. So okay, I found it kind of funny because it works. Because as we're going along in the scene here, Turbo transforms into robot mode as he's driving, and just continues to drive and shoot upwards and shoot at the guys. I thought that was kind of funny because nothing actually changes its position in robot mode. Everything is still there. He's still actually car mode.
Accurate.
It is very toy accurate. Yeah. So I found that really funny. when he actually does encounter Psykill and blow his eyes out, I thought we were done. I thought that's the end of the book. Okay, we're done. But then it kind of, the story kind of takes a really big downturn. That first little bit, that first third was really action packed.
Mm-hmm.
But we remember that we're on this prehistoric Earth, and they got to figure out how to get the things figured out. I really kind of liked the idea that Gobatron had Earth inside the center of it. I actually found that kind of neat, and showing that scene of Gobatron separating was pretty fun. There were the 2 Transformer references, maybe 3 actually.
Yeah.
With, I can't remember what the yellow bumblebee is called. Like, he's
Bug Bite,
right? So he's obviously got a bumblebee head in the window there.
Yeah, he is clearly an ancestor of Bumblebee.
Right, and that's what they implied going forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, they imply that Gobatron eventually turns into Cybertron.
Right, and that this truck guy, he creates a descendant of himself. That's another implication that they have, and that
an optimized version of himself.
Yes, optimized, right? Yeah. So I mean, we're to assume that he's the creator of Optimus Prime, and that they turned Leader 1 and what's his name, Psykill into Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool, sure. I like the skeleton. I like the skeleton in the middle, in the chest compartment of Leader 1. I thought that was a funny touch. But I mean, I've ranted and raved about Tom Scioli's stuff before. But I look at at the art here, and I see what I would have drawn as a kid. Sure, I would have put a really unproportionate sized skeleton in Leader 1's chest compartment there. You know, that's first of all, the skeleton is way too big for that spot. But whatever, right? But I would have put something like that there as a kid. I don't know. The book's a frickin' mess. The story at the end made absolutely no sense. I'm happy it's done. I bought all 5 issues though, so call me a hypocrite.
So Tom Scioli has the last laugh.
So yeah, sure. But yeah,
you have a right to complain because you spent your money.
I did. I spent my hard-earned money on this, and I'm gonna say my piece.
All right, Charles.
All right, I hear what you guys are saying, but despite the craziness and the disjointed storytelling, I still enjoyed this issue. I mean, Jeremy, you're totally right that there are so many gaps in the story here. Like, there's so much stuff that was left to not be fleshed out here that could have used some extra room. I still enjoyed every little piece of the story here, even though things didn't really connect together totally and work as a complete through line. I enjoyed it. Like the beginning with Turbo fighting his way through the command center, that made me think of it like a video game level where each room he goes through is another level of the game, which I just thought was a nice touch. How he's going through each room and having to fight another set of GoBots to get to Psykill. And then when you realize when he gets to the... Oh, go ahead.
I think Scioli missed an opportunity with that page, actually, because he shows us the layout of the command center. Why not, since he does the weird things with the panel layouts, why not make that page be in the same shape and we see Turbo going, through the various rooms?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have worked.
Missed opportunity there.
I also it was kind of surprising to see he's doing all this dangerous stuff and he's still got the 2 humans in his car compartment just along for the ride. Like, if there's a stray shot to his chest, those 2 humans are done.
You gotta wonder what are they going through while he is going through all these fights and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, hope they're buckled in.
Yeah, and then the Gobatron becoming Cybertron, and being the seed of all the multiverses. I mean, it was unnecessary, but I just thought it was a funny way to homage how the GoBots and Transformers were never really related, but now that they're owned by the same company, you can just play around with them. So making the GoBots
was first.
Yeah, making the GoBots the ancestors of the Transformers. Yeah, putting the little Bumblebee head inside Bug Bite. Yeah, it's silly, but I thought it was cute and I enjoyed it. Yeah, so it's a mess, but it's a fun mess. So I thought it was good.
All right. Well, that is our comic review.
All right. Well, let's move on to some Transformers media news.
All right. In media news this week, we've got a few things. Creative Destruction video game in-game event featuring Transformers Bumblebee. So if you're playing that game, take a look at that. As well as there's a Transformers BotBots official sticker book. I don't know if that's media. Transformers TCG, the espionage battle card, we have details of it here. So if you want to take a look at that, look at that. Bumblebee the movie, how the sounds in Bumblebee are made. So this could be kind of fun if you're into, sounds and behind the scenes kind of things. Foley artist, that's what the terminology is for sounds in a movie. So there you go. Take a look at that. Hasbro Studios officially rebranded itself as AllSpark. This is something that's not completely unexpected. I think in the beginnings of all the Hasbro movies, I think they're all done by like Hasbro Studios, or they say something about AllSpark now. So to change the name to AllSpark to fully kind of bring everything together is not exactly surprising.
And I think this is specifically the TV stuff. Like, this is Hasbro Studios, or now AllSpark Studios. They do all the TV animation and live action stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And we have coverage of the WonderCon Cyberverse panel. If you're looking at some stuff about Cyberverse and you want to know some future tidbits about Season 2, which again is coming out in the fall, take a look here. There's a kind of an interview kind of thing about their panel where they go on and on about it. And that's it for media news.
All right, let's move on to some convention news.
First thing we have here is CybFest Northwest. Registration is now live. This is a single-day convention in Kent, Washington, and it is July 27th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Very affordable, $25 for a family, 2 adults, 2 to 5 children, or just a single adult, it's $10. Kids are $5. If they're under 4 or under, they're free. I would say check it out. It looks like it's a fun time, and they've been going on for a few years now, so give them some support. And then a couple things here. TFCon Toronto has announced that voice actor Michael Chain is going to be attending. He was the voice of Hoist, Powerglide, Raoul, Rattler, and Skids, among others. He will be there all weekend long and doing a Q&A panel. And also, I think it didn't make it in to the show this week, but tickets are on sale for TFCon Toronto now. I don't know if you guys
mentioned that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You expect me to listen to your show?
Yes.
I was busy. I was making content.
Well, you could look at the show notes and you'd see it was mentioned there.
I was busy. I was making content. All right. Well, I'm sure more announcements are going to be coming as we get closer to TFCon Toronto. So that is it for convention news.
All right. Well, let's finish up the show with some feedback. So this is, we got some feedback last week. We didn't get the chance to play it on last week's show, but from one of our Donatreons, John, he has a comment about Lorenzo de Bonaventura's comments. So we had a discussion about that in the last 2 episodes. So, Jeremy, why don't you play that clip?
Hi, guys. This is John Levingood. I'm just throwing my 2 cents on the De Ventura comments. He seems to forget that Hasbro owns Transformers, and Hasbro at Toy Fair flat out said Bumblebee movie is a reboot. He's fallen into what I think is the same mistakes Michael Bay did with the 2007 movie. 2007 movie was okay, but he took all the negative press, negative stuff like that, and he's like, that's what people want more of, and that's what he threw into Revenge of the Fallen. De Ventura seems to forget that if Hasbro doesn't want to continue on that timeline, they won't let him. They own Transformers. They don't have to let him continue on. The Bumblebee movie did well because they focused on the story. They gave you your G1 nostalgia flashbacks, and that's why it did so well. If he's thinking that the Michael Bay way is the way to go and that's where he wants to continue, then it's just gonna flop, and then investors are going to look at, well, Transformers movies just don't make any money, and we'll never get another live-action one. Yeah, just kind of my 2 cents. I hope you guys take this. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, John, you're not wrong. I think we discussed this last week. It seems like Lorenzo de Bonaventura doesn't seem to know what reboot means. I don't know.
It seems like he wants to please whatever audience he's talking to at the time.
But I mean, I understand they want to capture both the fans, like the old school fans like us, the G1 fans, the fans of Transformers in general, and the fans of the live action movies. I mean, lots of people went to see those movies and they made money. So there are, they don't want to just abandon that fan base. So they're trying to please both audiences at the same time. But stick with the reboot. Don't go back to the Bayhem, please. We're on your side, John.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we got one more thing from one of our Donatrions that posted it in our Discord chat. This was a music video, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, this is from Dr. Pants. His friend is a musician and goes by the name Nerdstradamus, or at least his YouTube channel is. And they made a music video for his friend's song that's celebrating giant robots. So we will have a link in the show notes to this, but it's a very fun, kind of crazy song. So I'm going to play a little bit of the sound here, but go check out the video. It's fun, and I believe that it's also showing off some of Dr. Pants' collection. So
I love robots! Giant fighting robots, they love me too. I'm them about evidence of my victory too. They can transform or look like people. Autobots roll out Decepticons evil. Michael Bay, he's not that bad. His whole freaking movie is a big fat ad for robots. Let's fight kaiju with my mecha arm. I'll fight you too. Real, hot, bleed, cold, and real.
you check out the whole thing. It's fun. It's all talking about robots. So
he had me until he said Michael Bay is not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's a fun song.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
You cut out there. I didn't hear what you said at all.
Hello?
Hello?
I did not hear an answer.
Well, you've been cutting out. I didn't hear anything you said.
I said, Daryl, which one do you like?
Okay.
Well, I think Daryl's still not hearing me.
Jeez, nope. I heard that.